New Yorkers who knew him and colleagues who worked with him are remembering Roger Grimsby today. Grimsby, a giant of Channel 7's Eyewitness News for many years, is dead at the age of 66. He had suffered from lung cancer. His longtime friend and co-anchor, Bill Beutel, joins us now with some reflections and recollections of Roger. Bill.
Thank you, Roz. When they called me this morning to tell me that Roger Grimsby had died, I was not truly surprised, because I knew that he was very ill, and lung cancer does not often lend itself to a hopeful prognosis. But I was stunned because I was used to the idea of Roger Grimsby next to me at the anchor desk, or in later years on the other side of town at the end of a phone line. Roger and I were together on Eyewitness News for 16 years, and in that time, he became a part of New York.
Good evening, I'm Roger Grimsby. Here now the news.
It was in the early 1970s that Roger and I, in a cast of something less than thousands, formed Eyewitness News. Roger was a catalyst that held this new show in town together, sometimes against all odds. Bob Lape was a reporter with us.
We were more prone to having on-air mistakes than anybody else. And what I remember best is the catalog of times that this man rescued and resuscitated an awkward moment on television. When some technical thing, some human thing, some other thing went wrong, this man put our feet back on the right path.
The years have taken their toll on the original members of the Eyewitness News team. There are only a few who were here then and are here now. And we try today to understand Roger Grimsby's role in the success of Eyewitness News. Doug Johnson has some answers.
He really exuded an enormous power across the screen. But I think that what he probably represented, and I think that manifested itself in a kind of a leadership role. But he was also a guy who was a team player. He liked being surrounded by people. And I think that's how he was seen, and I think that's how he saw himself.
Through it all, there's the question that might have no answer, but that all men and women ask themselves now and then. Was Roger Grimsby a happy man? Hard to say.
I don't think Roger ever had a true sense of self, of himself. I don't think he knew how good he was. I don't think he knew how valuable he was, even though some of us and certain contract writers would indicate that to him in some ways. But no, I don't think he quite got what an important human being he was.
Hoping your news is good news, I'm Roger Grimsby.
Roger Grimsby leaves his wife, Maria, and a daughter, Karen. Funeral services will be private. He also leaves a great many friends with a great many memories of a fine reporter, an elegant writer, a superb broadcaster, and one hell of a man. Greg?
A very memorable and moving tribute as well.
Thank you.
Bill, thanks. And there's much more ahead tonight on Eyewitness News. A night at an amusement park turns to real terror on a Ferris wheel. Dozens are stranded upside down for more than an hour.
The buyers, the sellers, the impact, tonight at 11 in our special report. Finally, there's a lot of news today. Politics, the economy, the slaughterhouse called Bosnia. But for many of us at Eyewitness News, the lead today is Roger Grimsby. Roger died early this morning at Lenox Hill Hospital. Lung cancer, 66 years old. If you've watched us for a while, you know Roger Grimsby. He and I were the co-anchors of Eyewitness News for 16 years. We were friends, we were colleagues, we were rivals. Roger was not what you would call a sweet, gentle man. He could have a prickly personality if he thought you were petty or unfair or dishonest. But he would admit now and then, and reluctantly, that he was not always right. Roger had a sense of humor and a sense of himself. He took his work very seriously, but he laughed at himself and sometimes at the rest of us. He leaves his wife, Maria, and daughter, Karen. His life was cut short, and we miss him. That's Eyewitness News tonight. Peter Jennings is next with World News Tonight. Tonight, Person of the Week. For Scott Clark and Sam Champion, for all of us at Eyewitness News, I'm Bill Beutel. Thank you for being with us. We'll be back tonight at 11. So until then, good luck, be well, have a good night.
Lung cancer today claimed the life of a man who helped build Eyewitness News. Roger Grimsby died this morning at Lenox Hill Hospital. He was 66. And for more than 40 of those years, he worked as a newsman. Roger had some of his finest moments right here, side by side with Bill Beutel, the man who tonight looks back at a friend and colleague.
Good evening, I'm Roger Grimsby. Here now the news.
It was in the early 1970s that Roger and I, in a cast of something less than thousands, came together and formed Eyewitness News. Roger was a catalyst that held this new show in town together, sometimes against all odds. Bob Lape was with us then.
This wonderful weave of often contrasting fabrics made him the interesting, electric personality that he was. You never knew what was going to happen. This was true of early Eyewitness News and especially of Roger Grimsby.
It has been said that politics is dirty. Tonight it turns to trash.
Al Primo has been called the father of eyewitness news. He had the ideas that built Eyewitness News in the early days 25 years ago.
I thought I saw in Roger Grimsby something very special. I thought that I saw in him the face of New York. You know, smart, witty, angry, natural, took no guff. And I thought that the audience would relate to that.
Hundreds of journalists went through these doors to hear Larry Speaks, the White House spokesman, speak. What they heard was a disappointment.
If you were to summarize Roger Grimsby, how would you do it, Milt?
One word, Rye, W-R-Y, not R-Y-E.
The years have taken their toll on the original members of the Eyewitness News team. There are only a few who were here then and are here now. And we try today to understand Roger Grimsby's role in the success of Eyewitness News.
He was a very fair guy. He could be very, very difficult for some people to deal with. As you said at noon, he didn't suffer fools gladly. But he was also somebody who really was for the common guy,
Those lights are expected
and
to be
he was
turned on.
for the underdog, and he was for reporting the society they lived in the most straightforward way.
Hoping your news is good news, I'm Roger Grimsby.